Imagine there's a magical place where you are perfect. In this place, you wake up early with zero fatigue. You hit the gym without complaining. You sit down and do 3 hours of deep work without touching your phone. In this place, you are confident, disciplined, and unstoppable. We all know this place. We call it tomorrow. We are addicted to the idea of tomorrow because it costs us nothing today. It is a seductive fantasy. It allows you to feel the emotional high of being productive without actually doing the suffering. But this comfort is a trap. And deeper than that, it is a form of supreme arrogance. To look at a difficult task and say, I will do it later, is the biggest gamble a human being can make. You are betting on a future that you do not own. You are acting as if you have a signed contract with reality that guarantees you will be healthy, alive, and capable 24 hours from now. Think about the last time you said you would start a diet on Monday. You didn't say that because you wanted to be healthy. You said it because you wanted to eat junk food right now while still feeling like a good person. You offloaded the responsibility to a future version of yourself. You treat that future version of you like an employee who will clean up your mess. You think future, you will have more energy. You think future, you will have more willpower. But that is a lie. When you wake up tomorrow, you will be the exact same person you are today. You will have the same tired eyes, the same distractions, and the same resistance. The calendar changes, but you do not. Waiting isn't a strategy. It is an insult to the time you have right now. Once you realize that tomorrow is a lie, you run into the second wall, the wall of quality. You tell yourself and your friends that the reason you haven't started is that you have high standards. You claim to be a perfectionist who refuses to put out bad work. You want to do it right or not at all. This sounds noble on the surface. It sounds like you care about excellence. But let's be honest. Perfectionism is usually just a fancy word for cowardice. It is fear dressed up in a tuxedo. You are not actually worried that the work will be bad. You are worried that you will look bad. Here is the brutal truth about the human ego. It hates being a beginner. It hates being clumsy. It hates the feeling of incompetence. When you are a beginner, you are vulnerable. The first time you go to the gym, you look weak. In the first video you record, your voice cracks. The first page you write is embarrassing. Your ego screams at you to stop. It tries to protect your self-image. It tells you that you are smart and talented, so you shouldn't do anything that makes you look stupid. It convinces you to wait until you are ready to be perfect. You are trying to skip the suck phase. You want to jump straight from the starting line to the finish line without running the messy race in between. But look at the biology of learning. No baby decides to wait until they can sprint before they try to walk. They stumble and fall. They look ridiculous. And they get back up because they do not have an ego yet. They just have the drive to move. Somewhere along the line, you lost that. You started caring more about how you look than how you grow. You are protecting an image of yourself that doesn't exist. You are protecting a fantasy version of you who is already a master. But by protecting that image, you are killing the real you. We have a distorted view of success because we only see the final product. You see the trophy. You see the viral video. You see the bestseller. You do not see the invisible archive of failure. Behind every genius is a mountain of garbage that they had the courage to create and destroy. They have hard drives full of corrupted files. They have notebooks filled with nonsense ideas. They have years of practice sessions where they looked absolutely incompetent. The difference between them and you is that they were willing to build that mountain of trash. They were willing to be bad so they could eventually become good. You are waiting for a guarantee that you won't fall. But the only place where you can't fall is the ground. And that is exactly where you are right now. Get up. This brings us to the third barrier. It is the most common excuse in the modern world. You convince yourself that you cannot act because you are not in the right mood. You treat your emotions like a compass. If you feel excited, you work. If you feel anxious or tired, you stop. You have trained yourself to believe that your internal state must match your external actions. But this is a new and dangerous invention. For 99% of human history, the concept of being in the mood did not exist. Your ancestors did not wake up in an ice age and ask themselves if they felt inspired to hunt. They did not ask if their vibration was high enough to build a shelter. They moved because they had to. They move because nature does not care about your feelings. We live in the softest era of history. Because our survival is guaranteed, we have invented a new problem. We have turned our emotions into a religion. We worship our own comfort. You have convinced yourself that resistance is a stop sign. You feel a moment of boredom or fear, and you interpret that as a signal that something is wrong. You think it means you should stop, but resistance is not a stop sign. It is just a sensation. The greatest trick your mind plays on you is the illusion that you need to feel good to perform well. This is false. You can write a brilliant essay while feeling bored. You can have a life-changing workout while feeling tired. You can have a difficult conversation while feeling terrified. Your performance and your feelings are two completely separate things. You do not need to fix your mood to do the work. You just need to do the work. The professional understands this. The amateur is a slave to their fluctuating emotions. The professional acts regardless of the weather in their head. Stop checking your emotional temperature before you start. It does not matter if you are happy, sad, or numb. The work is just waiting for your hands, not your feelings. This leads us to the final problem. It is the most subtle trap of all. You are in love with a ghost. Inside your head, there is a version of you who is already perfect. This version wakes up early. This version is disciplined. This version has already achieved all your goals. You visit this character in your daydreams constantly. It feels good to imagine being them, but this fantasy is not your friend. It is a parasite. Every time you retreat into your head to imagine your future success, you are stealing energy from the present moment. You are getting a cheap hit of dopamine for achievements you have not earned. You are satisfying your hunger for success with a hallucination. This keeps you docile. It keeps you stuck. Why would you go through the pain of actually doing the work when you can just close your eyes and feel the reward for free? You are so busy falling in love with your potential that you are neglecting your reality. We treat potential like it is a compliment. It is not a compliment. It is a burden. Potential is just a fancy word for things you haven't done yet. It is a debt you owe to yourself. If you want to actually move forward, you have to do something painful. You have to kill the fantasy version of yourself. Stop living in the future. Stop obsessing over the identity you want to have in 5 years. That person does not exist. The only thing that exists is the person sitting in the chair right now. You are not the hero of the movie yet. You are just the person with a choice to make. You have to choose between the immediate pleasure of the dream and the slow, difficult satisfaction of the work. You cannot have both. The more you dream, the less you do. The cost of your new life is the death of your old one. You have to be willing to look at the mess you are in right now and own it. No more hiding in the future. No more waiting for tomorrow. You may reach the end of this video and still tell yourself you will start in the morning. But make no mistake, you can keep waiting until tomorrow, but one of those tomorrows will eventually betray you.